1811 4000। यही कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन।
Good evening, you're watching BIS Today and I'm Samira Apti. Well, today is the National Consumer Day, a day that celebrates the Indian consumer and the number of choices available to him in this day and age. But is the consumer being treated like the king he's supposed to be? Well, that's exactly what we focus on in this evening's episode. Well, consumer is the king, but a toothless king indeed, with very little power, at least in India. Many services she gets are inadequate. Appliances and goods she buys are faulty, and she doesn't know whom to turn to for a solution. But the situation is expected to change soon. The Consumer Affairs Ministry is amending its laws to make the companies accountable. More and more consumer helpline societies are also coming up to stand beside the users.
Even though the government has made it mandatory that we have to work on meters and everything, but even though we do not have the meter autos and all that, they charge whatever they wish to it.
I got my prepaid connection of Hutch converted into the postpaid one, and they were like lingering on for a week, for 10 days, for 15 days.
These young people are all sufferers. They have faced problems with regard to quality of services offered by one company or the other, and most of them don't know whom to complain. But several measures are underway to solve their problems individually or collectively, as the case may be. For example, take the case of telecom-related grievances. TRAI will soon come out with a regulation on the quality of services offered by the cell phone operators. Till now, TRAI used to bring out quality of service reports only. There was no legal enforcement of the reports. Now, it will be possible to force the companies to offer a certain standard of services to the consumers. For example, if one faces consistent call drops, he or she can seek redressal. The telecom company will have to appoint a nodal officer to look into the matter and take action.
All the complaints which will go to the service provider, how that is to be handled is the part of the regulation.
That's not all. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs has also drafted a proposal to amend the Consumer Protection Act. The proposals include defining the role and services of common jobs. For example, the quality of service expected out of a plumber, a mason or a carpenter should be defined so that the consumers know their deliverables. It also suggests defining the role of telemarketeers so that they fall within the purview of consumer law and do not harass the consumers. The ministry proposes to change the consumer grievance redressal mechanism so that it becomes easier for the consumer to approach the courts and seek justice. However, all these proposals are still in the initial format and will undergo changes before they become a law.
As long as there are going to be consumers, there are going to be problems, and there are going to be grievance redressal mechanisms. And it all depends as to how fast the law catches up with the actualities and the problems faced by the consumers day on day. Kumar Deep, Headlines Today, New Delhi.
Right, and let's actually check out a case now. As families of the Mumbai blast victims try to pick up the pieces and get on with their lives, they're made to suffer at the hands of some of the banks. Hundreds of families are not able to avail their due insurance amount as the bank authorities are using goons to harass and discourage them. If that was not enough, the disclosure that banks do not pay to clients who died in terror mishaps robbed them of even the last hope they had banked upon.
4 months have passed since Kavita Chaudhary lost her husband in one of the deadly serial blasts that ripped through Mumbai's suburban railway network on July 7. But tears still come easily. The mist of the tears thickens even more when Kavita thinks of the new set of problems that she has had to undergo. Problems created by those banks who had to provide her the insurance amount of her husband's life insurance policy. The banks have not only denied Kavita her due amount but have also made a mockery of her grief. And these banks are well-recognized HSBC and ABN AMRO. Now that Kavita has decided to wage a legal battle against these banks by moving the court, bank authorities have resorted to hooliganism.
आपके कदम ऐसे इसके लिए आपका आदमी चला गया ये कर रहा है बहुत ऐसा गंदा इतना गंदा पड़ रहा है वो लोग कि बहुत.
Kavita has been told by both the banks that for credit card holders, banks don't insure on their own. Rather, they get the insurance done by some other companies. And these other companies don't recognize clients who die in a rail accident or an accident caused from a terrorist activity as beneficiaries of the insurance amount. So, Kavita can't claim her amount. However, if that's the case, then why didn't the bank authorities mention about this crucial information in their service manuals? When we approached the bank authorities for an explanation, they chose to stay silent. However, the bank's service manuals reveal it all. The HSBC service booklet clearly reads that even if the client dies due to an accident other than an air accident, then he is eligible for a cover of 4 lakh rupees. The same applies for ABN AMRO, where the limit under the same situation is 5 lakh rupees. ABN AMRO bank authorities have now offered Kavita a sum of 1 lakh rupees in return for not taking the matter to the court.
अगर आपकी कोई शर्तें हैं तो शर्तें पहले से देनी चाहिए, न कि बाद में देनी चाहिए. शर्तें उनको दी गई नहीं है, कार्ड उनको बेचा गया है और अभी 1 लाख के ऑफर भी उन्होंने की है उनको कि 1 लाख में सेटल करते. अगर उनको ये अगर उनकी शर्त है कि अगर गुजर जाए कोई तो हम देंगे नहीं पैसा, तो फिर 1 लाख रुपया देने का सवाल कहाँ आता है?
Whether Kavita accepts the offer or chooses to turn it down, one thing is for sure, that there is nothing worse than what has happened to her. Kavita has been left shattered as the blast killed her husband once. But the insensitive nature of the banks made her husband die a million deaths. With Priyadarshan in Mumbai, Joe Thomas headlines today.
Right, and joining us this evening to discuss the issue is Ms. Nutan Lugani, banking advisor from the National Consumer Helpline. Thanks a lot, Ms. Lugani, for joining us on Biz today. What I want to begin by asking you is that in the scenario that we have prevailing in the country right now, do you think it's possible for initiatives such as this to actually work in a transparent and efficient manner?
I think so. I think the National Consumer Helpline is one such initiative at Delhi University by the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, which has Professor Khanna as the principal investigator. And in this, on a pan-India basis, there's a toll-free number from which consumers can ring up. They get free information, advice, guidance. Not only that, studying the nature of complaints, we do a lot of advocacy in all sectors, whether it is banking, whether it is telecom, whether it is electricity, insurance. So things are definitely improving.
Right, and also we've seen a lot of, sometimes there are cases such as the blast victims or maybe the people who, have had problems coming out of the floods in Mumbai, like we had seen.
Right.
After situations such as these, there are a whole lot of complainants. Now, to be fair to the banks and companies on their part, there is a huge rush that comes to them after such an incident. At such a time, what does a person do? Because he is, he has this emotional strain on himself, plus he also has to deal with these issues. What does he do at such a time?
I think from the clippings I just saw, most of them were talking of consumer courts. And it is the emphasis of the National Consumer Helpline to avoid the courts. Courts are only to be resorted to as the last ultimate resort. So we tell them that you go to the, the bank concerned or the organization concerned, and if the problem is not resolved, always there is a second tier available, especially in sectors like banking, insurance, electricity, where you have the Ombudsman office in place. You have the Reserve Bank of India, who have recently even started the customer service department for addressing issues. So before approaching the courts, where there is time and money involved, you can think of
So definitely, your advice is to, before they go to the courts, is definitely to try out one of the helplines. Well, it's time for a short break now, but when we come back, we tell you how you can go about the entire process of getting your grievance addressed. Stay with Biz Today. Well, you're watching Base Today and we're discussing about consumer, whether he is king actually. What would you do when you find out that the goods you have bought are faulty or the services that you're receiving are inadequate? Whom do you complain to about all this, and what are the documents that you should maintain? Here's a checklist.
It pays to be a smart shopper. You don't just get the best deals, but also secure yourself against possible disappointment and harassment. You buy a product because you like it at that price. But what if the product turns out to be faulty? Even if the value involved is small, you must register your complaint. This is the only way to make manufacturers and service providers more accountable. Being a smart shopper helps in such cases. If you retain the bills for all items you have purchased, you will have the proof of purchase of any product that turns out to be faulty. Make sure you retain the wrapper as well, because it will contain the batch number of the product and date of manufacture. Most companies display names and contact numbers of their consumer grievance redressal officers on their websites. Make use of this information and contact the company or the service provider concerned. When you file a complaint, make sure you get a receipt from the company acknowledging receipt of the faulty product if you submit any. If everything else fails, approach a consumer protection cell. And don't forget to get the complaint number.
You can simply go to the consumer court with the complaint, mentioning all the detailed facts and what was the defect in the product. A requisite court fee also to be paid along with, and file your affidavit also, and the documentary evidence, whatever he has, the complainant has with him.
Like other courts of law, consumer courts get many more cases than they can handle. So be prepared to fight it out over the long term. But approaching a consumer court is much easier. You can file your complaint with the District Consumer Commission or State Consumer Court or Central Consumer Court, depending on the scale of the issue. In most cases, you will be allowed to defend your case yourself if you can't afford a lawyer. With Kumar Deep in Delhi, Preeti Dahiya, Headlines Today.
Right, we're also in conversation with Nutan Lugani, a banking advisor to the National Consumer Helpline. Ms. Lugani, now, like the report mentioned that there are many more cases than the consumer courts can handle. Do you think that there are prevailing laws are sufficient to deal with all these cases?
Well, even the laws need to be enhanced, but other than that, it is more the period of delay involved for the consumer. After the district forum, there is the state one, then there is the national. So what we have observed is there's a lot of time lag between, and justice delayed, I think, is justice denied. And it is therefore that what we are stressing is the alternate dispute resolution methods.
Right, so now you mentioned these alternate methods. What are the ways in which a consumer can actually come to an organization such as yourself?
Well, we've just started a recent initiative after giving advice and guidance and advocacy. Now we are on to, the second phase, which is redressal. We've enjoined upon certain companies and organizations who have enrolled in the online redressal mechanism with us, which is called Convergence at NCH, whereby on this toll-free number, anybody pan-India can ring up and lodge their complaint, for which they get a docket number. After that, these complaints are sent to the companies who are proactive and responsive. I can give you a list of those right now enrolled, whereby we transmit the data to them, and the companies address the issues and give a feedback not only to our helpline but also to the consumers.
Right, Ms. Lugani, on that note, thanks a lot for joining us in the evening's edition of Biz Today. So definitely we hope the episode has been successful in helping you address your grievances in case there are none. And up next, the stock markets rose for the second straight session today. We come back with more on that in just a while. Stay with Biz Today.